right, guys. Hey, welcome to Sunday Evening Podcast with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Tonight we are in the great state of Georgia visiting Mr. James and with Cross the Line Paranormal from Valdosta, Georgia. Did I say that first name right?
It's Valdosta.
Valdosta, Georgia.
But you're not the first person to mispronounce it. It's okay.
All right, man. You know what? Thanks for coming to the show. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Georgia is one of those historic states. A lot of history, a lot of death,
Yes.
a lot of tragedy, a lot of just a lot of stuff in general. But we're going to get to all that shortly. As the podcast go on, as the podcast go on. Sorry about that, man. We will now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna pop right back on a minute later. So hey, guys, stay tuned. Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal and James will Cross the Line Paranormal. I guarantee you, we'll be right back in a quick minute. Man, I already got on the show. All right,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, our friend's Haunting Angels in Wyvette there.
okay, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and. All right, guys. Hey, welcome back to Sunday Evening Podcast. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal. And like I was talking to you guys a couple minutes ago, we are in Georgia. Man, we're Cross the Line Paranormal. Now, let me tell you something about this guy, man. When I called him, I really thought he was. When I called him, I was really thinking that he thought that I was one of those telemarketers, because when he answered the phone, he's like, oh shit, man, what that? But once I introduced myself, and tell him I follow him on his social media, he was able to, calm down a little bit and like, hey man, I would love to be on your show. You know what I'm saying? But you know what? Brandon, guess who just popped in? Brandon. So we're gonna pop Brandon in and see what's going on.
Nice. There he is.
What's up?
What up, B? How you? You don't mind if I call you B, do you?
Hey, I haven't heard that in a long time.
Hey man, I like those headphones.
Those are cute headphones.
Yeah. Those headphones, man.
I'm trying to match him up, the same colors. Come on now. You didn't get the memo, James? Good Lord.
Apparently not.
I just forgot the blue shirt.
Hey man, yeah. You know what, dude? I like this shirt so much. I wore it last night because I was representing a team that sent me up a bunch of merch from South Texas. So they sent me up to them, and I like, man, I gotta represent these guys on the podcast, because they did send me all of it. Dude, I washed it and I put it on again. This how it's really cool, man. I like this shirt.
It's a nice shirt.
Yeah, it is. Hey, would you like one?
I don't usually wear. I most of the time wear black. So.
Well, you know what? Hey, after I'm done with this one, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. Hey man, this podcast is going to be funny. It's going to be, sometimes it's going to be serious, and majority of the time, it's really going to make you guys think on some of the questions that I ask you guys. So, if there's a question out there that make you say, that's one of those Arsenio Hall moments. Those of you that remember Arsenio Hall. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so, hey, Brandon, somebody's messing with you, man, because they're already picking on you about your headphones.
Oh, no. Oh, cute.
Hey,
my headphones are probably them that James got on because he still got my set from the night we were investigating the jail over there in Jasper.
Your name ain't on these.
Oh, damn. So you blaming James for the headphones? The color headphones you got on? Oh, ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? Okay, guys. Hey, welcome to the show. I when I reached out to you guys, man, I really look out for teams that are really out there, man, that are going, far and beyond and doing, not just the big things in paranormal, but some of the little things, in the paranormal world. And that's something that I notice about you guys, not only you guys are doing big things, you're doing small things, and the small things that what really counts. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I appreciate all your hard work and, and all your dedication into the paranormal field, because we all know it can be hectic at times. It can be chaotic. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But it's definitely hard working. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, hold on.
Oh,
well, see my angels. How you guys doing today? So at this state of what the paranormal field is in today, there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of misunderstanding. There's a lot of confusion on what we do, how we do it, where we do it, and sometimes how much money we pay to do this. Because everybody, and in the paranormal world, a lot of people say, well, we do this for free. And a lot of us do. And don't get me wrong, but there's always that location out there that wants to charge you an arm, a leg, a foot, a toe, an ear, an eye, just to get into the locations. What do you guys feel about that?
Well, it's definitely not free. Obviously, going into residential cases where families are scared, we go in there, no charge to them. But far as going to large locations and stuff like that, I mean, they're needing. Of course, some prices could be a little ridiculous, but that's where teams make friends with each other over the years and join together who can go, to help keep the costs down. Because they still have, the owners of the buildings, they still have to pay for maintenance of that building. They have to pay volunteers. They have to pay taxes on those buildings. So, I mean, obviously they can't just allow teams to come in there for free.
Right.
It's just some places have really good prices, and some places it's a stretch, but we still do it because we love it,
Yeah, I understand that, man. But the bad side about that is, man, there is, and trust me, I understand it, James, when you're talking about they got bills to pay. But dude, we got bills to pay too.
Oh no, I agree. That's why some locations are a little out there on their prices. Like the Hamilton jail we just did. I mean, it was $70 a person, but you had the whole weekend. You had Friday, you had Saturday, you had Sunday. I mean, shit, that's cheap.
Yeah,
when you break it down to over 3 days. And
that's hella cheap.
Yeah, and it's not a huge jail, but it's 2 stories, and some of my team was able to come Friday night, and then it wound up Saturday night. It was my wife fell down the stairs, which is a video of that on TikTok. So they weren't able to really investigate. So they went home, and it wound up me and new friend David with Warrior Paranormal, and it was just us the whole night in that whole building. And
Wow.
so it was pretty wild.
Tell the truth, James. You pushed her down the steps.
You got on camera. I wasn't anywhere around.
Wow.
CGI.
Yeah. That's.
Let's not talk about Brandon and crying on the stairs.
Yeah, that's crazy, James. I mean, oh no, man. There's one against you. Somebody said you did it, man. You better watch. Your wife might get you. She might get you on that. But the state of the state of paranormal investigating. It's people think there's not a lot of para-unity there. People think it's a lot of negative, stuff, and it's at some point it's even got bad for certain individuals' health. When it comes to health issues, for a hobby that you love, it makes you think: is it really worth it going on being a paranormal investigator? If it's affecting your health. What do you think about that?
Brandon, you answer that one.
Okay. Why you want to put me out there like that? I'm just your bouncer when it comes to ghosting.
Right.
I just keep them off of you.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've been doing it almost 20 years. I'd have to be down pretty bad to stop. Now obviously priority home bills like that would come before this. This is a hobby. I mean, it's a passion, but it's an expensive hobby, and I thankfully haven't been in that situation yet to where I really had to make a decision on my health over doing this. Now, speaking of the para-unity thing, I've been trying to be that way. I mean, we're all human. We're all going to have agreements and disagreements with each other, but at the end of the day, we're all out doing the same thing. We like the paranormal. We're trying to find out what's going on, whether at a large location or at a home. We're all out just working together, trying to find evidence of an afterlife. Is it really an afterlife or is it something else? So try to stay out of the drama mess and all that. I just too old for that.
Understandable on that one. Now, when you just mentioned something that was actually the next question. I mean, you guys a lot of people are trying to figure out, and I can say 80% of the people are trying to figure out if there's life after death. What is, then I get this question is, if there's life after death, then what exactly going on over there? And it's one of those questions that I get asked by a lot of people. A lot of people that are in the religion aspect of it, because people that are very religious, they might not say that they're not curious, but they really are. Especially if they ask a question like that. What do you guys think?
Well, I try to keep it neutral aspect from either side, and that's what I tell whether we do tours or going into someone's home. A lot of our group has different beliefs, so they're all looking at it from different views. So we try to keep it on a neutral standpoint of that. So there's no squabbling on who's right and who's wrong. We also, same thing with the tours, tell them, this is neutral base. We're not here to prove anything to you. This is, your take on it. We're going to show you what we've caught, or if we're say public tour, we'll take you in and you're going to possibly experience it yourself. But we're not going to sit here and tell you if it's evil, negative, demonic, ghost, whatever. You know, my firm belief is yes, it's spirits. But we're not sitting there trying to push that on anybody.
No, we actually take our evidence serious too. We come together on that.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, would you guys say, because I just put a number up, 80% are trying to figure out if their life after death. Now, that 20%, that other 20% is trying to figure something else out. What do you guys think that 20% is?
Man,
people just don't believe in anything.
No, and I'm gonna, you know, the other 20% guys, those out there that are just as curious, is they are preparing themselves mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually for the afterlife. Now they know that it's something out there already, but there's always that 20% that are always preparing themselves for that day when it comes. One, because they don't want no surprises when they get there.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? They want to be ready to go and understand every aspect of the situation that's in front of them when they leave their body. And understand every aspect of
getting feedback somewhere.
Hey, I don't know where that came from. You know what I'm saying? So
now that was me. I took it off my phone. Yeah, I seen my daughter that chat on there earlier, and I was trying to chat back with her, but I turned it off my Bluetooth, and it popped up as you was talking.
Now, okay, well, how would you guys feel if you know, for what that 20% does? Is it okay for you guys to accept that?
I mean, yeah, it's all in their own personal beliefs. It's not.
Yeah.
My opinion is just that's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not going to judge them over it.
With their opinion. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
it's okay. Okay, so it's okay for a paranormal investigator to have those emotions and feelings and still be able to investigate and, you know, and not be judged for what they believe in and what they're out there investigating for.
Of course.
Wow. You know
because
what?
At the end of the day, you know, it's still, we all still truly don't know. So, like I said, my thoughts and feelings have no right over forcing it onto you or whoever. Same with them to me. Be respectful to both.
Okay.
You know, one day we will all find out.
Yes, one day we will. Can you guys, Brandon? I'm gonna ask you a question, man, and I want you to give me your honest answer if you can. Can you tell me the difference between a ghost hunter and a paranormal investigator?
To me, that definition of a ghost hunter and the paranormal. To me, paranormal seems like to me they're more deeply into the love and passion of this what we do, and then you got the ghost hunters just basically going out there trying to get the name of it and try to fit in. I'm more myself at a paranormal. I look at myself as a paranormal. I don't look at myself as a ghost hunter. Because you got other people out there thinking ghost hunters a lot different than paranormal.
Yeah, you know, I think paranormal investigators are a little more in depth. They do a lot of research, a lot of history. You know, as a ghost hunter is like an urban explorer. They don't do a lot of, investigate. I mean, they investigate, but they don't go out there looking for certain things. If you just happen to come across a ghost, wow, you captured it. You know what I'm saying? And that's called you a ghost hunter. That's just like if you're an urban explorer. Huh?
I was talking with a friend of mine, Courtney, the macabre mistress. She lives over in Savannah today about that. And we weren't discussing paranormal investigator or ghost hunter part of it, but the same scenario. It's like sometimes it's frustrating when you see, and it's for likes and followers, but you see people running around these buildings all the time. They're one building one day, one building next day, and then next week they're another building. But they never, other than what they did on their lives, you never see any other evidence. So it's like they're not going in, like, to me, like a paranormal investigator would. You're going, setting up cameras, you're reviewing your data, you're going back, seeing if you've caught anything, and where a lot of these others aren't doing that. So that would, to me, be like a ghost hunter. They're just in the moment, whether they got people with them or not, followers on lives or whatever. They're just in the moment, that experience, and then they just move on to something else. Whereas like the investigator, which paranormal investigator can be a broad things from ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, however, but you're more, setting up DVR cameras. You're watching the 8 to 10 hours of footage per camera. You're doing the research and the history. There's, I think there's a lot more to it.
We're looking basically for the unexplained things that's going on.
Okay.
Not just the ghost, being a ghost hunter, but being a paranormal. You're looking deeply into everything that's going on. When you first go in, you got these people asking you things. I mean, not asking you, but telling you things, what's going on. You take that to serious. You take that knowledge, and you want to go in there and try to debunk it, or try to actually prove it to them that it is actually that thing or person or whatever it is happening in there.
Prove it or disprove it.
Disprove it.
We've been in residentials before that there wasn't anything. It was high EMF. It was just different electrical problems, and they're thinking it's something affecting their closet light and the only time it happens when the light switch is on. I mean, there's like I said, a lot more deeper aspects to that.
Okay. Why do you guys think it's so hard for us to communicate with the other side? And it seems like everything is basically up to them if they want to communicate with us. Because some of these. What was that?
You talk about my kids running around?
Because sometimes it depends on what location you is. Man, you'll get a cat ball hitting off the minute you walk in the door. But then you got some locations, man. We know there's something there because of the past evidence that somebody provided to us. But why is it sometimes paranormal hotspots? It's not always hot. Why do you think that is?
I mean, it could be a variety of things, I guess. They need energy, and if you're going in one team that they've been interacting with and they burn up all their energy, then you come in right after them and they're exhausted. It could be kind of like the way I look at all of them is they're people without a body. You get vibes off of different people. They may like interacting with certain people in one group, and then another group comes in with either a different demeanor or different attitude, and they don't like that, and they just kind of stay away. They don't really want to interact. There's no, is it the whole thing, the veil's thinner, near Halloween versus January or something? I really couldn't tell you on that. I mean, I know a lot of cultures believed that, but a lot of things, what I think it's more of from what I've seen and experienced with this, just how you go into a location, far as being respectful and just bringing in that positivity and the positive energy, and hopefully you're going to get a response in return. I don't really have a clear. That's just my thoughts. I don't really have a clear. I don't know if Brandon can go anything.
Right, but you know, guys, the one thing I've always, and I just thought about this, man. You know, spirits are like people. They were people at one thing, and you know what irritates them the most? What irritates people what is the one thing that irritates people the most? When one person does what? Ask you the same old question over and over and over and over again.
I was going to say basically hover me around, following me like a fly on dog mess.
Yeah, man. You know,
it's like, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing?
Yeah, that irritates the hell out of you. So can you imagine? Can you imagine you got that cat ball down there and you touch a cat ball and you just heard that damn 20 minutes ago?
See that part brings up the when I told James about it, my friends down the road that having problems in their house, and they had dead files come in and do a TV show in there, and I told her, I said, please let us come in there next weekend, and let's take notes. Don't tell each other what's going on, and take notes, and we combine them together. I actually want to see if April was a true media. And there was actually a part where her son was saying he was hearing noise at the door laying in bed, and he was sitting on the floor. He was in there with me in his bedroom. I was laying down on his bed, and I was sitting there just talking, trying to get information to get them to do something to talk. And you start hearing something at the door. He looked, and he's like, you hear that? And I'm like, yes, I hear it. He said, that's them. And I was like, no, just listen. And I got up and looked at the door. Guess what was going on?
Damn
cat scratching the door. They swear up, but even though they swear up and down, they do what? But
now we did have some wild stuff that she talked about on the show we experienced. So I mean, the house was they were definitely experiencing some wild shit. But but yeah, the scratching we believe was the cat. Because me and the son was in the bedroom, and we heard a breath beside both of us, and I mean, to where we both turned around and looked, and it was just a wall there. There was nothing there. And then we caught a ball of light and coming out of the vanity. So yeah, I mean, they definitely had some wild stuff going on. And
since they took that vanity out, everything has stopped in that house. They took the mirror that was attached to it, and they took it out, wrapped it up, put Vaseline on it, wrapped it up, and stuck it out in the RV. And since then, nothing never happened again.
Yeah, you know, the one thing that people need to understand is spirits can be attached to anything. And the one biggest thing that people do is, what do people do on Saturdays? Especially the elderly, because they do it a lot. They go to garage sales. They go to estate sales. And they buy all this equipment. Not equipment. They buy all this furniture, and we really don't know what's going on, where it's been, who it's attached to. So when you get this in your house,
I'm pointing at him. No, wrong one. Wait a minute, there he is. That's him. That's him. He's got a safe house over there for all that stuff.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when I go to antique stores, I take a K2 meter with me.
There you go.
And you got people over there whispering at each other and saying, "Do you see that dude over there?
Which I'm not the only one. Yvette down there in the chat, she does it too. From Haunting Angels, she takes a K2 also.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I'd rather have you guys take your K2s and some damn dowsing rods. Is this furniture something? Is this furniture? You know, people look at you like you're crazy when you have some dowsing rods over there. But you know what? But with a K2, come on, man, you got so much interference. You got lights up here. You got over there. I mean, shit's going off left and right. You know, but I suggest people not to go and buy stuff from those places because you really don't know, guys. You know what I'm saying? You really don't know what you're getting yourself into when you go to these. I mean, flea markets too. Flea markets the same way.
Yes, sir. They are.
I mean, these three, man, estate sales, garage sales, flea markets, thrift stores, leave those places alone because they can be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, the way I've always looked at it, and basically what I tell the spirits that are my house that I've brought in from stuff I've collected, whether purchased or otherwise, found during investigations. That this place is a safe spot for you. Your stuff won't be destroyed, but you have to behave yourself here. And so far, I haven't had any issues, and I've had some of these items 5-10 years. And we've done. My daughter, she's 16, but she's sensitive too. But she always wants to investigate in the house, and we've gotten confirmation on a lot of the stuff. But most of the time, they behave themselves. We have one that's a little prankster. He likes to prank sometimes, but most of the time everything's been well behaved. They've respected my wishes. Probably the wildest thing was Dorothy. She come walking in my room one night. Well, not walking, she come floating into the room, and I was almost asleep, and I just seen a silhouette come floating into my bedroom, and I just said, "What the shit is that?"
I don't like Dorothy.
And so basically, we had that weekend, my daughter came over, we had another session, and she admitted she did. And I told her, no, you bedroom's off limits, especially when sleeping. If y'all can do stuff while we're awake or not home at night, you be quiet, just like anything else. And I haven't had any issues. And, that's what I keep reassuring them. You're not going to be forgotten. Your items are safe. They're not going to be destroyed or thrown in the trash. And that's how I've always approached it. And I haven't had any issues.
All right, cool.
He's going to wake up one night and he's going to be tied up.
Yeah.
Well, that'll probably be my wife doing that, not the girl.
She's going to be on the floor because she fell.
Yeah, she falls a lot. So that video of the jail fall, that's not her first time. She's fell at St. Albans. She's fell all over the place.
Now, is it possible that somebody out there in this world can write us a paranormal dictionary so we don't have to keep using the same words every time we go on an investigation? Can you touch that ball? Can we do this? Can you do that? Let's throw that word, can we do, right out of the damn window. Let's throw that right out the window. And because when people say, can you do, that sounds kind of disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Why not change that word, can we do? Hey, may you? Or, let's use a little bit more respect on these, when we're talking to these individuals, and just maybe you might get the response that you want. It's really hard out there, man. That's
actually a really good way of thinking on that. You're talking about like that. May you do it, or would you be willing to do it versus, just can you.
How would you feel if somebody tells you, you know, if you're dead, can you touch that ghost ball right now? Dude, oh my fucking God. I'm going my fucking head gasket.
Now, a lot of times what I've started doing is bribery, basically. I'm asking for something, but I will give you something in return. Whether I bring candy, I bring cigarettes, I bring little miniature bottles of alcohol, something of that, but I leave it for them if they do something for me. That way it's always constantly on their side, them giving, and I'm over here treating them like, you know, or I don't want them to feel like they're a circus act, you know, constantly performing for people and not getting anything in return. So I found candy and all works really well, whether adult or child like spirits.
Well, yeah,
they've responded to that pretty well.
And you know, my wife passed away last year, and one thing that she loved, she loved Dr. Pepper, she loved Big Red, and I can honestly, dude, she's almost got a 12-pack on her damn headstone. You know, and I could not believe how many times I thought about jacking her for one of her damn Pepsis or Dr. Peppers, and not knowing how she was going to react towards that. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
So yeah, man, gifts are one of those things, or offerings. They're cool, but dude, you really got to have a room for it, man, because in 20 years, can you imagine how many Big Reds or Pepsis are going to be out there? I mean,
best stopping at Sam's.
Man, yeah, so I mean, you know what? I just might do that. I just might put a 12-pack out there and just, you know, here's one for Mother's Day, here's one for your birthday, here's one for Christmas, you know, and so on and so on. Hey, I can be ahead of the game.
There you go. I said they make them little bitty ones, the little cans.
I can be ahead of the game, man, and you know what? And to be honest with you guys, if you guys ever had a loved one that's really close to your heart and they passed away suddenly, like my wife did, hey, I found out that this is not true. I spend more money on her now than I did when she was alive.
Oh wow!
Man. I can tell you, I go out there every month. I change her flowers. I got vases out there. You know, the flowers that I bought are from the Dollar General, so because they won't die, you know. You got a headstone out there, man. You get these LED lights that are with the sun, so they will, you know, do different colors during the day, during the night, and they will regenerate during the day because they're solar. Man, I don't even want to talk about Christmas. She had 3 Christmas trees out there.
Wow.
I was like,
wow.
3 Christmas trees. You know, and doing this for the rest of my life, it's gonna cost me in the thousands. I don't mind doing it because I love her. You know, and even though she's gone, she's never too far away from me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna. What was that?
That was. I have no idea.
It wasn't me this time.
I heard it, but I don't know what it was.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. But anyway, guys,
have you experienced like her being there at your house or anything?
Oh yes. Actually, I was digging in some stuff because I was in a process of moving, and my wedding ring was sitting right there. And believe it or not, I felt a cold gust of wind just shoot right past me. And I picked that ring up and I put it on my hand, and I have not took it off since.
She told you to put a damn ring on. That's what that was.
Yes, put that damn ring back on your hand, boy. Hey, that's what she told me. And hey, and you know what? I have not taken off since. And and I'll probably keep this thing on probably till the day that it's my time to go. But yeah, man, I took pictures on birthdays, on the kids' birthdays, and in the corners, things I can't explain. I got a friend of mine who's a clairvoyant. When she's talking to me, she's like, "Hey, your wife is there. Take a picture." And I took a picture. And wasn't just her. It was my grandfather also that was in that picture.
Oh wow!
So for people to say that they go but never come back, they come back and never say. And if you got a wife that was very protective of you in living, it's a good chance they're going to be very protective of you when when they're deceased also. So if anyone, Brandon, James, you got a woman out there or a wife out there that's protective of you, man, they're going to be protective of you in the afterlife too. You know what I'm saying? But hey, guys, James, you mentioned something. You mentioned your daughter. Do she go on investigations with you at the age of 16?
Yes.
Okay.
She's been on some since she was 7, but I was very careful where I took her.
Okay. Now, in Texas, some school districts are actually starting to open up to parapsychology. Not so much at the middle school level, but at the high school and at the college level, they're starting to do this. So what do you think about kids being taught about, the paranormal at the high school? High school level.
I'm not against it at all. I was raised around it ever since I was little. I was always taught you need to be more worried about the living than the dead. My grandmother and all them, they've been able to see things, and they've always, instilled in me, not to be afraid of it, respect it. So basically, this thing, that was a train at my house, going by my house. But it's a ghost train. But I follow a couple over in the UK. And then just slip my name. They take their kids, and their kids are young. I don't say critical of that. I think you should be careful with younger kids because of their so sensitivity. Whether they got gifts or not, they're still a lot more open. Be careful where you take them. But definitely, I don't think they should shy away from it because there's kids all the time that experience things in their house and their parents just brush it off. Oh, it's your imagination. It's this, that. When in reality, it could be they're seeing something and they're scared.
Right.
So I don't think they should be shy away. I think it should be brought to their attention to a certain amount. And then as they get older, if they want to pursue further down that road, they can. But that way they're at least aware and not afraid. Because the biggest kicker for a lot of this is Hollywood. Hollywood scared the shit out of so many people with all the movies. That's what a lot of people think when we're going into some of these locations. Now, not granted, now there's been some things caught on video that looks like something out of Hollywood every now and then, but that's rare. But most of that stuff, it's it's a little more dramatic. So, what about you, Brandon? What you think?
Well, my son has actually want to get into it because they had their very first experience when we first moved down here in Florida, and we left Brooks County, and we moved down here. We were staying in the house, and it was a 3-bedroom house with my ex-wife. The girl's got a pink room, and the owner says something about the pink room always has something fishy about it. never explained why, what was going on, or nothing like that. And my kids already know, and my ex-wife knew I was into this stuff, and I was already with CLP at the time too. We were sitting there one night. I was laying in bed, and I woke up. It was exactly at 3 o'clock, and I wake up and I see a short person standing at the foot of my bed, and it was a shadow figure sitting straight there in front of me. And I thought it was my son, so I blinked my eyes and moved the covers to get up to go see what he wanted, and it was gone just like that. So I still got up and walked in there and went in his room. He looked at me like, just pointed, like, that away. So I was like, what you mean that away? And I never tell them what's going on. How you doing? And I never tell them what was going on. Never told them about the stories and anything what went on in my investigation. He comes out straight out and says, short shadow person went that way. I went towards the girls' room, walked in there, looked at the girls, and they both sitting up in the bed against the wall, both in bed together. Because one of them got out, the youngest one got out of the bed because she was at the time 3 years old. She gets out of bed and her mouth says exact same thing. Shadow person went through the door, closet. And I'm like, how do I explain this to my kids? Do I let them just think, just let it just stop right there and say, okay, and y'all go to bed. He's going home or she's going home. Or do I sit there and just like twist their minds off, get them all scared and everything, or just leave it like that? So I just left it like that. And since then, my kids is actually loving this stuff. They just want to be old. They just want to get old enough real quick. Because I told them, I said, they was like, James's daughter's doing it. And I said, well, she's old enough and she's respecting the way things are out there. Okay. I mean, same way with my kids. I told them, I said, if you respect it and learn from me and learn what you see and other people in the field, then you would come on some of them. But like James says, he'll take his daughter on certain ones that he thinks that's safe enough for her. And same way, when my son turns 15 next year, I'm gonna start doing the exact same thing. Start asking James, hey, can we just bring Moose along? Let him come along, let him tag along, just sit here and watch. Is it safe enough? We're gonna communicate to see if it's safe enough for the kids to come. Mm-hmm. Because when I pass away or when I get old enough, and he's gonna have to still push me in the wheelchair because I'm still want to be there. Hey,
Brandon gonna be in that little electric wheelchair.
I'm trying to do an EVP, y'all.
Oh shit, that's crazy. Hey guys, how corrupt do you think Hollywood has done for the next future paranormal investigators? How bad do you think it's gotten where they seem like everything that Hollywood does is correct, the right way, the best way?
Yeah, go ahead, Brandon. I'll let you answer this one first.
Go ahead. I got you first. Go ahead.
I mean, well, you know how Hollywood, they can dramatize everything. I think a lot of people are being now, there's a lot more video cameras out there and everything, and there's a lot more popularity to what we do now. People are starting to see the difference to where it's not all one-sided on, they believed everything Hollywood's put out versus what actually we experience and see and deal with. Mm-hmm. But you still have those certain people that's all they know. So yeah, they're still demonizing everything because of Hollywood. You know, every little thing, light bulb flicker, oh, it's a demon. Oh, a gust of air was a demon. You know, nonstop. Yeah. I don't know how many demons I've released after eating Taco Bell, but you know. I have exorcisms all the time.
We
Hey, Dan,
Sage in your butt.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is so funny.
Our potpourri compels you.
Where'd they go? Hello.
Can you hear me?
You guys for a minute there. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, I can see you and hear you.
All right, I'm back. I don't know.
So I don't have that. I don't know what kind of internet y'all running over there.
I don't know.
I got this fiber optic.
I got Spectrum. That's the worst kind. Oh damn! Don't eat beans before an investigation. Whatever you do.
Always have a backup plan.
Well, you know what, guys? It really seems that the way society is today, if we don't teach these guys the right way, if we continue to let these guys go down the Hollywood way, we're going to have a whole generation of paranormal investigators that's going to be lost. And are you guys willing to let that happen?
I don't want to let it happen. That's just like letting this world do what this world's doing, trying to corrupt us too. I'm trying to teach my kids to love everyone, don't matter who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to teach them the exact same thing when I'm teaching them now with the world. I want to teach them now what I'm doing with paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because if you start off so young like they are, like our kids are, mine and James, they got the passion for it. We just got to keep that candle lit for them. Don't let it burn out.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You know, because 20 minutes ago we talked about how important it is for us to not only change the way that we talk to our I want to say the dead, but there's another way, to our ancestors. There's got to be another way, because today these kids aren't being taught to, if they're not being taught to talk to elders when they're alive the right way, it's a good chance they're not going to learn to speak to the elders, when they're dead. So it's going to be, it's going to be kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying?
They're going to do this. They're going to do the Zach way.
Yeah,
Zach way.
I don't want to say his full name on here, but everybody knows what I'm talking about.
We know exactly who he's talking about. And you know what? As much as that guy has enemies, he's got just as many followers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's weird as hell.
And I loved his show back in the day. I did
when it first started,
early on. And I enjoyed watching it for the locations. But I would tell you, if you ever get a chance, his museum is impressive. Definitely do the VIP tour at his museum. That is mind-blowing, the amount of stuff he has in there.
Well, he'll never get my money.
2 hour tour is not enough. 2 hour tours are not enough. And you're not supposed to, but I touched the Dr. Kevorkian's van.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What do you guys think the next generation of paranormal investigators, what do you think they're going to be like? We already know that they don't have the sense of respect because they're not being taught that at home. But one thing that they do have on their side is they have, they have time on their hands. There's still time to recover and do the right things. And they're going to seem to have a lot better technology than what we're going to have. So is it possible that they can sacrifice one to actually be good with the other? I mean, even though the technology is not going to be something that they're going to create, it's just going to fall into their hands. not like to what we're doing today. There's people out there creating, equipment in their homes and so on and so on. But, there are, I think in the next century, man, to what the military has now, all that technology, be able to see into certain things, all that's going to fall into their lap. So, the top of the line investigation equipment is going to be at the head of it's going to drop right there on their feet, man. They're going to have everything. What the hell was that?
His phone.
The wife.
Oh, everything they're gonna have is gonna have right there at the bottom of the feet, man. There is no way that but I'm hoping. I'm hoping that they get their act together, man, and be able to leave, because we're leaving them a legacy. We're leaving them the foundation on how to do things right. But if they don't follow that, it's not gonna be right. I mean, they're gonna mess up a lifetime of
challenge.
Work.
That's a challenge. Just I guess like any parent, you raise them the best you can. You hope they take what knowledge you give them and the morals you try to teach them, and they go out and make the right decisions. I mean, it's really gonna be hard to say. You hope with what we present out there in the world, whether on YouTube, social media, or whatever, people see. I won't say the correct way, but more better, right, morally respectful way to the spirits of communication versus some of these others that run through there with their little lives screaming and banging and commanding whoever's there to do something, and that's not the right way.
And
I totally agree with you.
Oh God, Enron. That just blows my mind. I've been doing this 20 years and I have yet to run from a location. Just some of these people that they post on there, oh, it's so scary, I had to leave. I just really, what are you there for? You're there for the experience. You're there to communicate. You're there to. I mean, I've seen a solid ass woman at Waverly, and I went, oh shit, but I didn't run. I stood right there. Right. She was there and gone, but and it's just some of these people I think jump in it and they don't realize what they're getting into until it scares the shit out of them, and then and believe it or not, guys, that's gonna lead into my next question: fear. It's okay to fear.
That's
what we don't understand. Yeah, But the question that I have for you guys is, what is the one thing that what is the one thing that scares us the most on this planet? Every human being has it. What is the one thing that scares us the most?
James eating beans. I was going to say my wife, but
you know what? And
as far as which would be off paranormal side of it. I mean, if something ever happened to my kid, that scares me the most.
That scares you the most.
Leaving my family scares me the most.
Yeah, Yvette.
However, was something happened to my daughter or something happened to me, not being able to take care of them. That's yeah.
Okay, now Yvette, James, is that your wife? Whose wife is Yvette?
That's a friend. She's a friend.
She's a friend. Yvette. Now, if you can answer that question for me, what is the one thing that fears human beings the most? What is that?
She wrote real people.
Real people? No, not real people.
No.
Who's writing with real people?
Now, if you went from the paranormal side of it, one thing that gives me stupidity, creeps me out, and it falls back to Hollywood, trying to keep Hollywood out of my mindset when I'm walking through a building by myself. And I've seen it on SLS, but I haven't seen it personally. But if something black starts come crawling up to me from on the ceiling or some shit like that.
And it's not Spider-Man.
I'm not planning on running. Yeah, I'm not planning on running, but they call them the creepers or whatever that some places have. But people from Miami. But I do have that sense of fear in the back of my mind at times when I'm walking through locations by myself, waiting for something like that to come running out.
Yeah, guys, what everybody is afraid of. I mean, everybody on this planet. It's the fear of the unknown.
Mm.
That's one thing that scares everybody. Unknown. Now, if you
but I've been in this field now, I guess used to. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, go ahead. No.
Used to, I would say, was probably death, but more I've been in this field now with communications and stuff, communicate with intelligent entities and stuff I've watched and seen. I'm not scared of that so much anymore. Because I know now it appears there is a way to come back. Obviously you're not physical bodied back, but you still have intelligence. You still have a personality. Your aura is still there.
Interesting. Now, if you take away the fear of the unknown in everybody's life, would there be a need for paranormal investigators on this planet?
I mean, I don't do it for the fear of the unknown on that aspect. Now, as far as going into people's homes, probably not. No, they wouldn't be scared of what's going on in their house.
Exactly.
I enjoy doing it, whether it's residential or a large location, for the fact of I'm communicating with something I can't see with my eyes, but I'm using my devices and feelings and I'm going to say mind's eye, but in all that, and getting responses from something intelligent. That would still be a passionate to me anyway.
Now, one thing when we're kids, our grandparents and our parents always tell us, when they tell us to go to bed, what is the one thing that makes us, what is the one thing that they always tell us to make us stay in that bed?
A boogeyman gonna get you.
Exactly. You're right.
Boogeyman gonna get you.
That's
the boogeyman's gonna get you. Now the question is that I have for you guys is, why are people so afraid of the dark and not what's in the dark? I always hear that. Oh, I'm afraid of the dark. And I'm like, man, are you serious?
It's not always
you were born it. It's crazy. But you know what? As a man, I'm not going to be afraid of the dark. I'm going to be afraid what's in the dark. And
in the dark.
That's the biggest thing. And people always ask that question, man, are you afraid of the dark? I'm like, no. I'm afraid of what's in the dark. Yes. Because you really don't know what's in the dark. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm afraid of door frames.
Don't you tell them that story.
We were sitting in Tipton Library, and I was in one of the office by myself, and in the K2, I was just following the K2, and it led me into that used to be the safe back then, James, concrete safe, and I was trying, and it was pitch black in there. I mean, pitch black darkness, and I lost my surrounding real quick. And I get this. I was like, "Hello." That's what I said. I said hello, and then I get this coming back in my headphones real loud. And I forgot I had it turned up, turned up a little bit too high, and I hear right back at me, hello, hello, hello. And I just jump. And when I did, I turned around and smacked the door real quick and just cut myself. And I just ran out of there and hit another wall. And I'm like, trying to get out of there. I'm like, God, dog.
The librarian called me on Monday asking what happened because there was blood on the door frame.
Did y'all murder somebody? I didn't even know I was bleeding.
Wow, that's crazy. You know, one of my biggest EVPs was when I was at a location, a hotel actually, and the guys across the street, man, we were going to pull an all-nighter, but the only thing that was open was Whataburger. I don't know if you guys got a Whataburger in Georgia.
We used to. They closed down.
Whataburger. And you know what? And we were talking about what we want, but I caught this EVP right next to me because I was literally standing right across the bed, and it said,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like,
wow. So it actually repeated.
And the woman said, "What's that?" So it was clearly a couple in the same hotel we were in. And dude, when I picked up, I went home that day, the next day, and I reviewed the footage. And I can clearly, hey, big as day, and you hear the female's voice, "What's that?" You know, and that tells me that people, you know, there's a big theory about people saying that spirits can jump in and out of time. You know, people from the 1500s can jump in the 21st century. And, you know, and I'm beginning to believe that because this location was, man, built back in the 1800s, maybe. It was a stagecoach. It was, you know, it was actually called the Stagecoach Inn. So it was a stagecoach. Rumors, Bonnie and Clyde went there. You know, they did all that stuff, and there was a big Indian battle just in the creek right across the street from it. And you know, and had all this flowing water, so all that energy from that water was coming. I mean, there was so much, and you know, and to hear something like that clear, and from somebody from that time period can actually validate, hey, maybe these guys can jump in and out of time. You know, unzip a portal and zip it back up and jump in and out of it. You know, because how else would somebody even think about Whataburger? You know, and hell, they've never been there. You know, and never seen one.
Yeah,
It's weird. You know, so I'm like,
that's some new theories I've heard about the time jumping and all. You know, are we interacting with some of them with spirits? Are we interacting with other timelines? You know, it's a pretty wild concept to think about. But I mean, you know, one and like you were saying, one of the things that's actually there's two different ones that stood out to me, and it's back in the Taps days, Ghost Hunters. There was one episode they were at a train station and they were communicating with a woman like 1948 or something. What she said the date was. She was waiting on a train. So cool. And then the other one, I can't remember where exactly that, but they were communicating with like a princess from I can't remember the time period, but it was wild to thinking about it from that angle of you know, are we a fissure in time kind of thing, communicating with somebody on a different timeline versus actually somebody that's dead. So yeah, it's pretty wild. On top of the other aspect, I think it's cool is that the spirits can communicate with them. You know, I've heard conversations having with each other, discussing whether us or whatever was going on in the room. I think that part's cool is they can talk to each other and communicate.
Yeah, that is crazy.
You know,
that's crazy. You know, that brought back memories because we were at Bellinger at Old Park Hotel, and one of our mediums, one of our members, was sitting on the bench, and he had his what is that damn box? It allowed you to, spirit box, and one of the spirits in there called him a geek. And, man,
Well, that's what happened.
Justin,
It's funny.
yeah, Justin took that. He got kind of upset about that, you know, when he got called a geek.
Well, that's
man.
we at the theater we did in Tifton. My daughter was doing the Estes session, and she was blindfolded with the headphones on. She can't see what's going on. Well, the theater manager, Alex, got up and walked away. She was on stage, group of people around her asking the questions. He got up and walked off. Of course, she can't see. He walked off. And she said something to the effect of like, "Who's leaving?" And then one of our investigators said, "Alex." And then she went, "Dork."
Oh, damn.
The spirit called him a dork. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. And it tells you, man, with all this communication from the other side, it's proof right there, man, that you don't lose your sense of humor. Everything stays intact except for your body. And who needs a body?
Right.
I mean, if you got everything that you need with you when you leave this world, man, it's gonna be one hell of a show.
What was it? What was it, James? We wasn't using the spirit box. We was using the negaphonics off your phone.
Yes. Yeah.
Or sitting in their master bathroom, sitting on the tub. Y'all four y'all was in there, and I was at the home base, and that's where Brandy, or was it Gabe that was getting
Gabe were in the bathroom.
Yeah. And
never
heard of Nicophonics sitting there and cuss at anybody like they was to her, calling her a whore, slut.
What?
It was Gabe walked in there, and it was me and Brandy in the bathroom, and I don't think anybody else was in there. And we had the necrophonic running, and Gabe walked in, and we were fixing to wrap it up, and she walked in, and it said whore, and she's like, "Are you calling me a whore?" And said,
"Fuck yeah."
Yes. And then it said slut, and he said, "Are you calling me a whore and a slut?" And then it said, "Fuck yeah." And it was a female voice the whole time. That's what the guy was complaining about. He said he felt like he was being sexually assaulted by a female. And we played into Indian stuff and everything else with that. But yeah, that was pretty wild on the necrophonic app to hear all that.
Never heard anything like that. Came across it that app like that.
That is crazy, man. Dude, let's talk about. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Let's talk about Georgia a little bit, man, because I've heard so many things about Georgia. A lot of things that's not history is not on Georgia's side when it comes to the history. So many bad things.
They've erased it or didn't write it down. So
don't write it down
for that reason.
There was a Savannah, man. Savannah is probably the most haunted damn city in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? Savannah, Georgia?
Especially back in the pirate days.
Yeah, Savannah's the oldest. Which sadly we will be soon, but we haven't really done much in Savannah. Our friend Courtney, she lives over there, so we're starting to get where we can get access to places. But we have most of our stuff has been more local or out of state. But because a lot of Georgia, they're still like Tifton's been really welcoming with us. We did 4 of their big city government locations. We started out with the library, and then it turned into, can you do City Hall? Can you do the theater? Can you do the community center? All these were places that all the employees were complaining of having experiences. And I'm talking experiences of seeing a woman walking on the second floor, getting grabbed, seeing at the community center was an old fire department, a fireman had got killed at. I mean, it's just insane stuff that it wasn't little bitty thing, experiences.
Was it the lady? Was it the lady at the city hall? Was it when we was all eating? The story behind that one, did she get pushed by her husband, or did
we don't know. They believe a woman died on the second floor staircase landing. During one of our SD sessions,
and we were we was eating at the restaurant when we.
Well, no, that was the fall. That was with the man. Fault yelling.
Oh, it was the man.
There was a worker that fell when they were restoring. It was an old hotel, and then they restored it to City Hall, and a worker had fell from the third floor.
And we
couldn't find documentation of that, but an employee confirmed it at our reveal that she had a customer when he was a kid was there with his mother when it happened. And it happened back in the 60s or 70s. But we caught, nobody was in the building, and on our DVR cameras, all the cameras on every floor heard a man screaming, like falling.
It's like it started real loud. And it was like, yay! And that's all you heard.
Yeah. But the woman flirted with me during the SD session. She didn't care that I was married, but she got friendly with her friends. And then near the end, she made the comment about John pushed me. So we're thinking her man at the time found out she was getting friendly with the friends and caught her, and he wound up pushing her down the stairs. And
oh wow!
But Tifton's been very welcoming with us. We've done a little bit in Hayhire with the old hospital there. They tore down half the hospital. It's a museum now. But a lot of places have been they're still closed-minded. They're scared of, we come in there, it's either we're conjuring it or we're demon worshipers or just different nonsense. And so it's still a struggle at times over here, but it's starting to get more, because it's getting more and more out there on social media and everything. It is, people are starting to be more open-minded to it. It's been a slow process.
Yeah, we actually put Tipton back on his map for a while,
and it didn't help.
They've started haunted tours and everything else.
I know.
Really? Wow, that's crazy. You know, you guys are in the Bible Belt also.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
there's
a church on every corner.
Yep. And that's, like Valdosta's been a struggle getting in. We almost got in a really big location, and then they shut it down when the wrong person found out about it. And, it was unfortunate because it was a beautiful home. My mother actually worked a catering thing there, and she said stuff was happening while they were doing a wedding, like a big 10-bedroom plantation home. And the college owns it now. And I was super stoked about getting in there, and then they shut it down on us. But we're still working on it. It's just, the nice thing we have now is we have, references like Tifton. I can go to a location now and present, look, I can give you the mayor, I can give you the head librarian, I can give you all these people that we've done these investigations for and have done public tours for them too, help them raise money, now as references at these large locations. They trust us to be there at their locations. So that's a big plus.
Yeah, it is. Now, is it hard for you guys to get in some of these plantation homes, or what's the deal?
Yeah. A lot of them we've called, and it's no, we don't want to be affiliated with that, and click. Yeah.
We already got stuff going on. We don't need him.
We've had more luck with going into Florida and. Like Waverly, we'll be going to St. Albans again in a few weeks with our friends Haunting Angels and Black Smoke. Some of the larger locations. Georgia's tough. Like my friend Courtney, she works a tour too, but they do the theater and the Moon River Brewery in Savannah. So I definitely want to get in there. It'd have to be on one of their public tours, but still, they have stuff happen all the time. So it'll still be cool.
how does the historical society? How do they treat you guys? Or have you guys ever encountered them?
The Hey Hire we've dealt with, they've been fine. Because the thing was with them when we did our tours in the past, just raising money for them.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, most other ones, if you bring up the whole, well, we can do, help raise you money for stuff, usually they start listening. Tifton,
Yeah.
Tifton really, I haven't run in, they've been pretty welcoming, even the people at Historical Society, because they, especially up there, they've all, around that area, they've all experienced something. So they know there's stuff going on. That's so they've been more welcoming with that. Where like down here in Valdosta, it's more we don't talk about it. That's their thing. We don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
Well,
if they start talking about it, they think they're crazy, and we don't. I don't want to be part of that. You're not crazy.
Have you guys ever been involved with the church? Has the church ever called you guys up and hey man, I got something going on at a location. I need you guys to check it out.
No. We've had the church call up in Tipton and blast the library for us putting on a public tour to raise money for the library. They actually they shamed some of their congressional members so much that they asked for refunds on their tickets. And this was money we were raising for the library, but yet they shamed their congregation so much that several people asked for refunds. So that was pretty upsetting, but we went on with it anyway.
It seemed like the church in Georgia has a lot of power.
Yeah, they can at times. Depending on the church.
Now, are we talking Southern Baptists? Or are we talking Christians, Catholics? Who has the most power when it comes to religion?
This was a Baptist church. So yeah, down in South, the Baptists would probably be. I mean, they got Catholic churches, they got non-denominational churches, Methodists and all that. Baptists probably your most common churches around this area.
You know what? When you put the S on Baptist, I think the S Baptist Church is more worse than the Baptist Church. Because when people put the S Baptist Church, man, it can't get what the hell? It can't get no heavier than the S Baptist Church.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Once you put that Southern Baptist, on Baptist, man, it gets down. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
That's for sure. That is for sure.
Hey man, I gotta ask you guys a question, man.
Okay.
I gotta ask you guys a question. And where is she go? I think she jumped off. Yvette, I think you can answer this too.
She's still on, looks like.
Yeah, she's around there. Let me pop this in here. All right. A lot of people, we get criticized for a lot of things, man. A lot of people, think that we're a bunch of phonies. They think that we're just in it just to be in it.
Right.
But can any one of you guys? Now I'm gonna throw Yvette in there because it seems like she's the most active on the comments, and I would like to hear her.
She's a talker.
Why is that the church don't recognize, spirits, ghosts, the undead, but yet they seem to. Hey, everybody's seen the Blues Brothers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, man, what the hell were they doing in that church? When he would start shaking and, doing all this, doing all that, he started doing backflips, and everybody was in the congregation was jamming, to James Brown of all people. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too many people got JB in the church. But you know what? What is the difference between that ghost and the ghost that we try to investigate or we try to reach out to and try to have a conversation?
Well, the short answer, they're just going to be going off what they read out of the Bible, and it's all demons trying to trick us.
Man, boy.
That's the short answer.
If I know a demon that can jam like that, he can come to my show. Trust me.
That's what ended my first marriage. She wanted me to quit this, and like I told her, one of the reasons I got into this, which I was younger, I was a kid, but seeing my grandfather, and and he was a minister, and she was like, "Oh, you just saw a demon playing tree," and I just like told her flat, "I'm sorry, that was not a demon walking through my house. That was my damn grandfather. I can tell you that right now." And it went downhill after that. And but that the short answer to that. Now, if Brandon wants to add anything on that, or why bet, they or anybody else in the chat. Jen, I see Jen is on now. Jen with 305. Hey, Jen.
Jen.
And they, it's back to some people are. I don't want to say the word sheep, but they believe everything they're told. They don't research themselves. They got blinders on where just what's in front of them, and that's it. And there's so many variables and so many excuses.
It's crazy, man. I just, what? I thought that we were as a people, a race. I really believe that we are a lot smarter than the average bear. There's, and if people would just open their eyes and ears,
people are stupid. They will say a person is smart, but people are stupid.
Yeah. And it's weird how people just think, man, that there's nothing else going on in the universe except for what's going on in their little life. The little life, their life is just surrounded by the universe. The universe is a lot bigger than what people think. There's things out there that we cannot explain. There's things right here in our own backyard that we can't explain. Hell, man, I can't explain the person I can't explain the person that's howling on my damn fence at the moon every time the moon comes up. It's just certain things you can't explain.
He's part wolf.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, don't tell nobody. Hey, don't tell nobody that's me.
I'm part wolf.
You know what I'm saying? But dude, I mean, we gotta think out the box. The one thing when I put this podcast together, and I told myself, I say, we're not gonna be like the average podcast where it's all about me. It's gonna be all about my guests, because my guests are the ones that people are here to see. They come on to everybody in the chat, come to see you guys and hear you guys' questions, and all that. So people now, especially in the 22nd, 23rd, 24th century, hopefully they be thinking out of the box by then. If not, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a headache for somebody. You really got to think out the box, man, when you're dealing with stuff like this, because they are. You know what I'm saying? Do you think these spirits are trying to keep it basic for us so we can understand what they're doing and what they're, and all that stuff? No, they're not trying to keep it. If it was simple, we've been and figured this shit out. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
But it's not simple, dude. Everything is. Oh man, it's not meant for you to figure out. you know, you can do the best you can, and hopefully, eventually, we'll figure it out. But it's no, man. Come on, people have to understand, man. Like I'm saying, the world, the planet, the universe is a lot bigger than what you got going on in your 15 square foot, in your 2,500 square foot home. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly right.
It's a lot bigger than that.
And I mean, that's just our universe, you know. Shit, you look at Hubble and the James Webb Telescope and look at all the other galaxies and universe that they've just discovered out there. That, you know, Lord knows how many third rock from the suns there are out there. You know, I firmly believe we're not the only life out there.
You seen that TV show too?
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, I'm kind of stuck on that one. I'm stuck on that one that comes on Sci-Fi. What is it called? My Alien Friend, or where the guy that comes down. Man, he kind of,
I was about to say Alf, but you know, it wasn't on Sci-Fi.
Jesus, I used to love that show. Around the planet. Jen, on that note, honestly, when I was in college in Nashville, Tennessee, I was working at Ryder, and a guy I was working the fueling station at the semi-Ryder rental place, and a guy jumped out, and shit you not, he said, JJ. And my parents, ever since growing up, I was little, called me JJ. And I didn't know who the hell this guy was. And he said, dude, you look identical to my brother-in-law from Miami. I was like, holy shit.
You done messed up, James. You done messed up.
I reference that because Jen and them are from Miami. But yeah, he told me that back in 2001.
I'm making a shirt.
His brother-in-law.
I'm making a shirt now that says JJ on it. And then on the back of it's going to have your picture.
Oh, man. Hey, what, you going to put them out like that?
Hey, I'm going to create one. I'm going to put it on there.
Hey, you should have wore your Sasquatch outfit for him.
Oh,
damn.
You know, I thought about it being on there. I came this close before getting on. If I got I got my tablet, talking from my tablet right here. I was going to get on it since I couldn't get on my computer. If I was going to get on my computer, I was going to get there and jump into my Sasquatch outfit and sit here and just sit there. And y'all ask me a question. I was going to go,
Trying to be like Chewbacca.
That's different there.
Damn.
I'm not Star Wars.
But you know what? Hey, I'm glad you guys brought that up, because if you guys know any furries out there,
see,
I am looking to have one on the show. So if you guys know any furries, oh man, hey, you look like that guy from that commercial.
That is Jack Slink's Bigfoot.
I think
that's Jack Slink's Bigfoot right there. And
yeah,
why Vet or Jen might know a furry, I don't.
Yeah, man, I'm looking for a damn furry. If you guys know any furries out there, please put it in the comments. How can I get a hold?
That's where I got the nickname from down here up here in North Florida. Because I had all this shaggy hair and I had the beard out, and they was like, "There's Sasquatch."
Because if I can get a furry on my podcast, I think I go viral. I will be viral.
You ain't talking about them little bitty things, are you? Them little furries that.
No, some of the people that dress up like animals.
Yeah, I just need somebody to dress up. Yeah, man, those furry guys. I've seen them, man, and I've never seen one actually in real life, but I've seen them on social media. And dude, they spend thousands of dollars on their fucking. I'm just curious, man. Those damn furries do you think they're paranormal? Do you think they have to do with the paranormal?
I'm not. No, I'm not going to bring her name up. But I was told on the furry situation on a long drive back from Miami. Some people do the furries because they like the being in a different character and this, that, and the other. And then other people, I did not notice like the furry thing for a sexual orientation.
See, I didn't know this.
Like bestiality kind of thing. I was like, holy shit, are you serious? She was like, yeah. Like,
Oh, I'm
what?
picking on her.
She,
God,
she knows people that does, and that's what she brought. I don't know how we got on that subject about it, but she brought that up because her husband was friends with a guy who dressed like a unicorn during the things. And one day he went over to his house and he had a stuffed unicorn in his bed, and that's, I'll leave it at that.
Oh shit, that is so funny.
I am making her a shirt.
Your show might turn really interesting if you get a furry on, and it's one that goes that way.
I hope not. Oh, shit. Hey, I think I'll be kicked off every social media there is. Oh, man.
Tonight on the Paranormal Broadcast, we got furry.
Oh man, hey, yeah. Well, you know what? You guys made me not to think about it. I ain't gonna do it now. Oh shit,
Brandon, you should have wore your outfit. You'd have been the first furry he'd had on the show.
You gotta quit drinking these, man. If I invite one, I gotta drink a bunch of these.
So you still celebrating your birthday, ain't you?
Oh, yeah, the last couple hours. Oh, wow. That is so funny.
I think Brandon's fixing to put it. He's fixing to put his suit
man,
on or
I hope he
something.
don't. I hope he don't do that. Oh shit,
God.
Brandon, don't you put that suit on?
Yeah, he did. Damn it, man. Work it, man. Work it. Work that camera. Work that camera.
Yeah, work it, man. Oh, shit. I bet you that thing is hot. Put on. Brandon,
yeah, that's like a sweat box there.
What's that?
Please tell me you had not done nothing weird with that thing.
No.
Yeah,
No.
you would never tell us anyway.
Well, I'm not ashamed to say it, but no. I have chased people down the street. Yes. I even had dogs running from me.
Damn. Oh shit! That was
day.
Every year I dress up as in Halloween, and every year I have a different suit on. I mean, I still got the Bigfoot suit on, but every year I have a different shirt or pants or whatever, and walking the streets, changing up the themes a little bit.
Well, you know what? Hey, you know what, guys? Man, I really hate to cut this thing short, but I got 2 more questions for you guys, and yeah, this show has been hilarious. All right, hey, any one of you guys, both of you guys live in Georgia, right?
I was born and raised in Georgia, but I'm living down here in Madison, Florida. It's 30 minutes away from James.
Well, there's no basements in Florida. You guys don't.
That's funny because I was born in Florida and left Florida when I was 5.
Just swap.
In Georgia. I
know. Oh man! All right, guys. All right, this one is gonna go with Brandon. Brandon and James, you can follow up with an answer also. Long story. I'm trying to make this short as I can. You was hanging out. You know, you woke up, you went back to sleep, and you had this idea in your head, and you told your wife if you got one, it's like, honey, go to the car. I don't know why you would tell her to go to the car and get your tools, but that's what you did. And you're like, honey, go to the car and get my tools. I'm going into I'm headed into the garage and I'm going to do some work. And you know, you're not knowing exactly what you're doing. You know, you just got this vision in your head, and you start tapping and connecting, and you put this box together, you know, and you went to the hardware store and you bought a turn off on and off switch, and you put that on there and you wired it up, you know, and you're like, why in the hell did I build this damn thing? I don't know why I did that. You know, so your wife comes downstairs into the garage, and you know she flips it on, you know, without you even knowing it, and suddenly you get this big ass EVP, man, that just boom, just went right over you, made your hair stand up or whatever that EVP does. You know, you would think it would short out your house, but it didn't. But instead, it opened up a portal to the other side. And so you sitting there and you know you're watching, you're amazed, and you're like, oh shit, did I just build that? So you know you're sitting there and you know you see people walking by just like you know you see them today. They're just walking by. You know, and you see one with a Randall's grocery bag that went to the grocery store. You see one with a church's chicken. Hell, she's taking lunch home for her husband. You know, you just going by their everyday life. You know, but something caught your eye. A person walked by, and it was your grandpa. He sees you. You see him. And he decides to jump in and say, hey, Brandon, how you doing, buddy? How is life going on? Man, y'all sat down. Hell, y'all even drunk a beer. It leaked right through him, but hell, he drunk it, you know? And he was like, man, I am doing such great over here, man. Everybody is doing, the whole family is doing great, you know? We come in and we check on you and make sure you're okay and the kids are okay. You know, so they made it clear that everything is okay with them. You know, but he checks his watch. He's like, oh, man, I got to get these groceries home to grandma before she kill me. You know, so he jumps back in and he waves goodbye and, you know, he walks off and your wife shuts off the box and you just thought about yourself. It's like, man, I just created a box, man, that I can actually communicate, talk to, feel, touch from the other side. You know, and so you sat down in that chair and you stared at that box for 20 minutes and you're like, wifey, should I share this technology with the world or should I put it back on the shelf? Is the world really ready for this? And you sit there and your wife said, I don't know. I'll let you make that decision. You know, so she walks back inside and she left you there pondering on what should you do. So the question that I have for you, Brandon, what would you do?
I don't think we're ready for that. I don't. I don't think we're ready for that. Some people may take that too serious and use it against what it's actually built for.
Okay, so what? So you're saying you would put it back on the shelf and let it sit?
I just leave it alone. I mean, I won't build it for anything else because some people can take it and run with it. I don't want to be that person. Just let's go back when you can actually have a carburetor run off water. You can actually have that done. Guess what happened to them people? They're dead.
Disappeared.
Yeah,
they disappeared.
Or dead,
you had a white man that built one from a race car, and then you had a black man that built one out of his garage. Where they at? No, I don't want to go missing.
Yeah. So you're saying now, if you was to leave that thing on the shelf, if you was to put it back on the shelf, how long would you think that mankind will be ready for something like that?
That's going to be a hard choice because the way the world's running right now, we're not.
I don't think they'd be ready. It'd
No.
be a long time. And I feel like that with Brandon, other than personal use, or maybe I don't even know if I'd bring it out for somebody that's really suffering. They, like you said, lost a loved one recently, because I can see good with it. Take it to somebody that's in very distraught, and their family member or loved one that they lost just unexpectedly, they could communicate with and letting them know they're okay and all. But I still could see where government or mad scientists or somebody
always
take it and turn it,
dip their hands in it, twist it around.
And it turned into something, because if it's open a portal where grandpa could come through to talk and come in and visit with you and sit down, what's stopping somebody from walking the other way?
And it's instead of that song, when the devil went down to Georgia, the devil's going to come to. Yeah. The devil.
I think it could cause and throw things out of balance that,
and I'm not going to be there playing my
that
violin.
don't need to be out of balance.
It's weird because let's say let's
share that in a way, but
yeah.
Let's play devil's advocate for a minute. Let's just say that, hey, Brandon did put the world out. Brandon did share it with the world. Brandon did, share it with friends,
milk
family,
2 weeks later.
and then you got the government involved, so the government want to, duplicate. But the biggest problem, Brandon, the biggest problem is it's not the government that you should worry about. It should be the religious aspect that you should worry about.
I don't know about the religion. I'll probably be worried about my neighbors.
Well,
you're right. You're right with the religion.
I think the religion aspect of it would be your problem. Hello, how you guys doing?
I mean, there's been a lot of killings in the name of religion too, so you probably disappeared in that aspect. Not the government, but the church.
I mean, is there a point? I mean, is there a time and place where you think mankind is ready for something like that?
Not right now.
Not right now. I don't think.
Mm-mm.
I mean, it's coming along, but with all what's out there, with technology that's out there, there's so much more being caught on camera now that people are seeing, where before it was just stories and rumors. But no, we're still not ready for something to that effect of technology opening up a wormhole or doorway to the other side yet. I don't. People are ready for that. Not a lot of. I mean, some people are. I mean, some people I think could handle it and like, oh, this is amazing. This is cool. Stuff like that. But I still think that 40% or 50% of people probably still wouldn't be ready for that.
And
Missy, because you'd be wanting to share that.
Yeah, and Missy, that she agrees with us also. She's like, nope, put it back on the shelf. And I totally agree with her on that. I don't think mankind is ready. I think they should Brandon should put it back on the shelf. If you choose to use it for self-use, that's a good thing. It would actually. Now, I don't know if you will stop investigating at that point. I think you will, because now your answers, all the answers that you've been trying to search for and look for, I think all those answers have been answered. So I think your investigation of the paranormal would be done, and I think everybody else that knows about it would be done also. I don't think James would go out and hang around at the cemeteries anymore because he knows.
Well, that, and also it would change the game of it because now instead of listening for hours on recordings for an EVP of one word to a couple sentences, now you can actually sit down and have a conversation with somebody from the other side, whether by coffee or tea or Dr. Pepper. I mean, and have an actual conversation, and if they're willing to allow you, yeah, if they're willing to allow have a camera for filming and all, that'd be a game changer for sure.
Definitely be a game changer. You know what? Sure. I never even thought about the whole camera aspect of it. Somebody actually recording that. Now the thing is, with a
it's just interesting.
Go ahead. Now recording them,
you're gonna show it to?
That would be a different person. I don't know if you can record them, but I don't know if they would allow that. That's a good question.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then also on that is, okay, who are you going to show it to the point of there eventually somebody's going to blab and it's going to get out.
Yeah, so you better off not even showing it to anybody.
Which that's interesting you brought something like that up because there was that TikTok video going around, that dude who opened a portal with sound and then they said he's disappeared. I don't know if that ever got debunked or not.
You got to send that one to me.
But he was showing I have to go back and find it, but it was showing he did it it was in his house. He was doing something with sound waves.
If you got to go back and find it, it disappeared too.
You could see, but they're saying he disappeared not long after posting the video.
Interesting. You mean like he just somebody got him, or he just vanished?
Yeah, he's not active on any of the social media anymore or anything. So
I already got shut down.
Now, and said I don't know. It was weird because it looked real, but CGI can do amazing things. But it was wild. I mean, the tones and stuff he was showing settings he was doing with a couple different sound waves directing at each other, and it was like looked like a portal to he was looking at a field over his bed.
Was he at home? Where did he get that type of power to generate that kind of energy?
It didn't go into the details of that. It was just a short video. I don't know if it was debunked.
Yeah, it would take a lot of power for that.
It showed him having several speakers and stuff set up. Would the computer set at different tones, different hertz and frequencies? So like I said, more likely, it was bullshit, but it was still really interesting to see. And that's what some people I saw commenting saying that he had disappeared, but I never heard if it got debunked. If it was just, he disappeared to make it look like for a little bit, but he was still there, or that was the other people were bringing up. Did he actually cross through, and it's gone? And,
I think I would have. I would have made that step.
Another Elvis Presley.
Oh man.
Other than medical techniques and all nowadays, with the better medicine or medical procedures we have now, I'd love to go back to the 20s and 30s, or hell, even in the 1800s. Things were so much simpler.
Yeah, it was simpler. But you know what, dude? I got one more question. I'm gonna get you guys out of here. Now, you mentioned medical. Medical really, it has advanced to a certain part, but when they get to the part where they can regenerate brain cells, that would be a historic moment in history. The minute that
they can talking about stem cell research, excuse me, stem cell research and all far as regenerating things, but brain cells and hell, or even regrowing limbs and all that would be amazing too. But I guess I'm comparing days of like today versus, dental work or whatever back in the day where they just slammed the door to snatch a tooth out your mouth, gave you a bottle of whiskey to drink to pain a little bit.
I still don't understand that concept. Why give you a bottle of whiskey to drink, even though whiskey is going to make your blood thinner?
Well, and whiskey supposedly numbs the pain.
It numbs the pain, but you're going to bleed like a stuffed hog.
But you know what? All that blood just goes down, so you're going to swallow it. It just goes back down on you. So you
that bloody, that's where it came. That name came from Bloody Mary.
What? Oh, dentist.
Hey, I didn't want to answer that. Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh man. All right, guys. Hey.
But Lord.
Where would you guys like to go on your bucket list? Anywhere in the country, outside the country, man. Where would you guys like to go?
Paris catacombs.
Your catacombs? The ones in the States or the ones
Paris
overseas?
catacombs. The ones in Europe or Paris.
In Europe?
What, to go investigate?
Anywhere else?
Yes.
Oh, the one Josh Gates went over there to Mexico, to the islands of the Dolls. I like to go over there.
Oh, the island of the Dolls.
Yeah. When there's another one I like to go to over there in Russia with Josh Gates and his crew went over there because I like to follow them around.
Josh Gates is a good guy. I like Josh Gates.
Yeah, I do too. Island of
he actually
Pelagia.
One with the dead center of the forest. When they went through a forest, the haunted forest, and
that's
the circle.
Actually, Ghost Adventures did that too.
Because one of Josh Gates' members got thrown away, picked up and thrown.
Yes. Here's Poveglia. I can't freaking say it.
I'm not Russian.
That spot in the forest is pretty wild too.
That word James trying to pronounce.
Nothing grows.
Yeah. That's crazy.
The forest.
Nothing. A good guy.
I don't know why. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like his shows.
I don't know if it's the rumors of what about Josh Gates they said about him. He canceled his shows with the producers because the producer wants to change everything up to make it their way, not the actual way as you see stuff like we do.
Well, yeah, because I think Josh, he's always, even when he was on Destination Truth,
I love that
one
show.
that the one he's on now, he's always leveled up to the viewers to decide what they think. He never leveled up to the damn directors because we all know what the directors would think or what they would put in there.
Ratings.
It's like they're trying to change what's really happening in the world to change it, make it like put fear into other people. Or make it look
they want to make it exciting or fake things, because we've been doing this long enough. There's some locations you go to, nothing happens. Kind of like you brought up before. You'll get activity at certain times or sometimes, and other times you go and nothing happens. And the cost and the money they got and paying their crews and the actors and whoever else for TV show, plus needing ratings to keep it going, they're going to fake stuff just to have a show. Mm-hmm. It's sad, but it's reality.
Yeah, and just like Zach's EVPs, it's the same EVP sounds. What the heck? My EVPs don't sound like that.
Hey, it sounds like somebody eating Captain Crunch cereal. That's
Captain Crunch cereal in the bathroom.
Yep.
Sitting on the toilet because it's bullshit.
Berry Crunch.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, what the hell, man? But yeah, dude, you know what, man? It's been a very interesting podcast, man. I had a lot of laughs, and I really enjoyed you guys.
Definitely enjoyed it.
Yes,
Definitely enjoyed
it.
Even though I was late.
Yeah, better late than never, though.
No,
you did good.
I'm always late for class. Never fails.
Well, that's all right. Hey, tell the world how to get a hold of you guys.
Basically, Cross the Line Paranormal. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and recently started on YouTube. So it's pretty easy. Just Cross the Line Paranormal. You can find us on any of those social media. So short and sweet.
That's right.
All right. Well, you know what? Or better yet, you can call them.
He'll link his phone number down below.
I mean, I don't know if he'll pick up the phone, but he might. I don't know.
/Furry.
Terry called me like 3 times, left 3 different voicemails before I knew he called. Well, then some of it was, Terry, I told you I didn't get a notification because my wife checked the answer machine and forgot to tell me you called.
And what's so crazy? He kind of scared me because he mentioned one thing I haven't heard in 20 years. He said a landline phone. I'm like, what the heck is that? So that
okay, dude, get my personal number.
You know what? Hey,
we'll do it.
Haunting Angels. Hey, I'm coming your way, so you better get ready for me.
I'll be going. My friend, we'll be going investigating them.
So hey, I'm definitely gonna have you guys on the podcast. So I'm definitely coming your way. You know what I'm saying? But hey, all you guys that were in the chat tonight, man. Hey, I really appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. Hey, and Brandon and James, hey man, you guys keep up, man, the good work that you guys are doing. I really, really enjoyed tonight's podcast. Feel free, man, to share this podcast with anybody. Even though it looks like my video is kind of acting kind of crazy. I don't know. It seems like it's in slow motion. Yeah, man. This damn Ethernet cable I got. Hey, man, I got a 400-foot Ethernet cable. I don't know if it's even working.
Every so many feet, you're losing signal on that 400-foot of Ethernet.
I know.
I'm sorry. I installed fiber optics, though.
Well, I don't think fiber optics here in Texas yet. Man, we're so far behind Florida. Hey, guys, it has been a pleasure, man.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, if you guys want to reach out to these guys, yes, sir. Hey, go on to Facebook to Cross the Line Paranormal. Check them out on YouTube, Facebook. Hey, you guys got a TikTok, right?
Yes, we're on TikTok.
Yeah, check out the. Hey, how many subscribers you got on TikTok?
Damn.
1,800.
We already up that high?
I'm barely on 75. I'm trying to get up there so I can podcast live on that. But it's really hard.
Yeah, it takes a little bit, but it's been a lot better than Facebook has as far as getting views and getting followers and stuff like that.
That's right.
Well, you know what? Well, guys, hey, man, appreciate everybody on the show tonight. Check these guys out, man. Let's make sure we get these numbers up, man. Go over there, hit that smash, like, subscribe, whatever it is, whatever social media you guys are on. Hey, let's make sure we hit those buttons and make sure you hit them. Yeah, make sure you hit mine out. Hey, give me that HBO special. Help a brother out. Special, and we can definitely get those numbers up. So, hey, guys, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal. Hey, you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Peace.
Thank you. Peace out.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
it took